Hello my little butterflies, and this video is going to be a review on Echo by Pam Munoz. So you guys, yes, I finally started and finished this book. I know I've been saying I was going to read this book since November, and I finally did it, and it was such a good book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I did not actually write a review on Goodreads because, to be honest, I didn't feel like typing it all, so I already knew I was going to do a video, so I thought this would be easier to put the link on Goodreads so people can see it. But basically, this book is 3 short stories. Well, more like 4 stories, because the prologue is set up in its own story in its own time period, but it sets up the flow for the other short stories. Now, the prologue is about this boy named Otto, and he meets these 3 sisters in the woods while playing hide and seek, and they kind of actually save his life. And so there's a prophecy that he has to help them with so that they can be freed from a witch's curse, which thus starts the traveling of the harmonica that travels in and out each story. Now, the main body of the book follows Frederick, Mike, and Ivy in that order, and each one that the harmonica goes to solves a piece of the prophecy so the sisters can be freed. And while you're reading the story, at the end of each one, you kind of be like, okay, yeah, I see how that's going to solve that prophecy. And they tell you the prophecies actually in the prologue. And also at the end, I would say it's an epilogue at the end after Ivy's story. It's kind of like the epilogue, and it goes back to Otto and how everything, it kind of catches up with Otto. So you can see exactly what he did to get the harmonica set in motion. So I felt like the stories connected really well together. They all matched up perfectly. And the imagery in this book was just so amazing. It's like while you're reading this, I can actually like look up and actually picture what the characters are seeing, because she did imagery just so amazing, and she did that so good. Naomi Leon too, when I read that book. And oh my god, I really actually like this book more than I'm thinking about it now that I'm talking about it. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it. Now, originally, as I'm reading each story, I was like, oh my god, Pam, what the hell? Why are all of these stories ending just so sad? And it's like, it ended sad, but it ended off on a cliff to where, okay, well, what happened after that? It's like, it's not really a full ending. But then all of that is tied together in the epilogue, and that shocked the hell out of me. I was like, oh my god, that is really amazing how she did that. It was just so wonderful. It's like the epilogue put a perfect bow on the story. And it's like, before I got to the epilogue, I was like, I don't know if I like this book as much as I thought I did. But then once I actually finished it and read the epilogue, I was like, yeah, that was amazing how she did that. I actually like this story, this book, a whole lot more than what I thought I was going to do. This book is all around a really good book, and I think people should read it. Now, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars instead of a 5 out of 5, even though I liked it so much, because it's like reading it, you can kind of see where it is a middle grade novel. So it's not something that's like, you can really tell it's a middle grade novel. So it's not something that it's like, it's a middle grade novel, but you wouldn't be able to tell unless you knew it. It's like you can get, you know, the childish kind of sense from the book. But everything else was so good. It almost made me, you know, just say whatever to that. But I couldn't look past that part, because I did start to lose interest in the book at one point, but it got me back. So it didn't let me go all the way, and it got me hooked back on it. Okay, so character-wise, the first person that we follow is Frederick, and he is his story is set in 1933 Germany, which is also Nazi Germany. And again, like in the book thief, we get to see the perspective of a person that wasn't a Jew, but a actual German. But not only is he a German, but he is also kind of labeled because he has a birthmark on his face. And it kind of sets him as an outcast, so people will pick on him more. And you know, Hitler wanted the perfect race, and you know, anybody with a birthmark, that wasn't going to work. So pretty much the story is about him being labeled by society because of this birthmark on his face. And he was also an outcast because not only because of his looks, but because he had a really good imagination as a child. He grew up loving music. His father was a music teacher, played instruments, he played instruments, his sister played instruments. So he always wanted to be a conductor. And so he would always, you know, play like he was conducting in like an imaginary orchestra, and people would make fun of him and say he was crazy. And this story was the most shocking out of all of the stories because it's like back-to-back events are like, oh my god, are you serious? Especially when his sister came into the picture. It was like, are you kidding me? I can't believe that she is, you know, that way and that she's fell for all of this. And it was just a shocking story. But at the end of this story, it kind of make you think, okay, well, if he did, why did he just break out and do this? Maybe he really did have a mental problem. Maybe not a big one, but again, like I said, the epilogue kind of, you know, solved that question because that's how the story just left off. And our second character is Mike, and his story is set in 1935 Philadelphia. So this now is in the States. And his story starts off with him and his little brother Frankie being orphans in a not so good orphanage that's just, you know, trying to make money and, you know, get the older ones out to work and get rid of the small ones. And he promised his grandmother that they would stay together, and also the orphanage promised them that they would try to keep them together. But she's not the owner of the orphanage, but she's more like the general manager of the orphanage. She wants to just get rid of Frankie so that she can put the older boys out to hire, which means the farmers can come out every day and pick them up and they'll work for some money, and then she'll take the money and she's going to be making a profit from it. They are adopted by this rich woman named Mrs. Sturbridge, and she has a lot of issues herself. Like the whole story, she has like this deep secret, and she was kind of upset when she got them because actually she wanted a girl, and the person that she sent to pick up the boys to actually pick out a child for her came back with 2 boys instead of just 1 girl. But she have a deeper issue that, you know, really shows why this is really upsetting to her. And when her story is reviewed, it's sad and it's heartbreaking to think of something that happened that way, and you can kind of understand why she would have a closed heart for something because of that. But honestly, this is my favorite story out of the 3. It really was. This is really my favorite story out of the 3. I don't even know why. I laughed more in this story. I giggled a lot more in this story than all the other ones. So I really enjoyed this one. This is my favorite one out of the 3. The last story follows Ivy, and her story is set in 1942 California. Her story is more of she doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere because her family moved around a lot. It's almost like they moved around like every year. And this time where they're at right now, they stayed longer. So she made friends, you know. She was in the school, I don't know if you would call them an orchestra, more of a band, and they were supposed to perform on the radio. But then her father got this opportunity to have their like own permanent home, so they end up moving again. And then she's just really hurt, and she's left wondering, well, where will we belong if we keep moving? Nobody's going to like me. Nobody's going to know me. I just set roots. I just met people. And it's not even that she doesn't feel good. Like, she doesn't feel like she's good enough for other people. She doesn't feel like she's good enough for her parents also. Because her parents are kind of like, they kind of look at her brother as more of a... It's like she feels like her parents care more for her older brother than they care for her. And her older brother is in the army. And she feels like certain stuff they nitpick at her about, they wouldn't do it to her older brother, because the older brother played basketball and they didn't say anything about that. But she likes to play the harmonica, and her parents always say that's foolish and that's a dream. You know, stop all that playing around. You need to be focused on, you know, school, and that's it. Don't worry about this stuff. And she feels shot down because they shoot down her hobbies and something that she loves. But for her brother, they let him do whatever. And so she feels like they don't love her as much. But to be honest, Ivy's character grew the most out of all of the characters that I really read about in this book. I feel like she had the most character growth, because you can tell in the story where she goes from child and starts to grow up into a real like teenager, a young adult, and she gets this mindset like she has to protect people. So you can see her character grow really strongly throughout her story. But just like I said, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I think you guys should really pick it up. I think you guys will really enjoy it. And like I said before, when I planned on reading this book, it is a really good book to read when you just want something quick and funny. And that is exactly what I got. It was something quick and funny, and it was really lighthearted. I mean, yeah, it had its tough moments, like, well, oh, that's like serious moments, but it also had those giggle moments, and it was nothing too heavy. on you to make you feel way down. So you guys, let me know what you guys think of this book, if you have read it or if you plan on reading it. I hope you do, and you can come back and let me know. We can have a talk about it. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Goodreads so you can see what other books I plan on reading and other books I've done review on. And I will see you guys in my next video. See you guys later. Bye.